Hello, dear aspirants. Welcome to English Literature and Language Academy. Hope you are all doing well and your study is in progress in an excellent manner. So, today we will discuss Series 4 of English PU Lecturers. This is an important video on English PU Lecturer questions analysis. This video is very useful for upcoming PU English lecturers, HSTR, TGT, PGT English teachers, and especially UGC NET, SLET, Assistant Professors exam, and Lecturers and Teachers exam. So this video is very helpful for all exams. So today we will discuss important 10 questions which were asked in previous recruitment. So let us start without wasting our time. The first question: The Excursion is a poem by options Tennyson, Browning, Wordsworth, Shelley. So the correct answer is William Wordsworth. So please remember, William Wordsworth belonged to early 19th century English romantic poetry. Sometimes he was famously known as father of romantic poetry, father of English romantic poetry, and nature poet. Please remember these important facts about William Wordsworth. And let's see the background of this poem, The Excursion. Please remember the full title of this poem is Being a Portion. Being a Portion of the Recluse. Recluse is a poem by William Wordsworth. So this poem was published in 1814 in 9 books. Please remember, this is very important information about this poem. And who is the narrator of this poem? The poet himself. The poet himself is the narrator of the poem. And very importantly, this is a poem in fragment. Fragment. It means incomplete poem. The poet did not complete this poem. That type of poem is known as fragment. This poem, The Excursion, divided into 9 books with different titles. Say for example, The Wanderer, The Solitary. These are the subtitles of these 9 books. Okay, so why I am analyzing all these things? In the upcoming PU English lecturer, they may ask you such type of information or knowledge based questions. So please remember, these are all the very important points about this poem as well as poet. Let's move on. Question number 2. The fictional world. Look at the word. The fictional world of the novel Adam B. Day has setting in option 1 Yorkshire and Warwickshire, London and Paris, Loamshire and Stonyshire, option 4 Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire. So the novel Adam Bede has setting in Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire. Please remember, this is the correct answer of these questions. So fictional world means it is not a real world, it is a kind of imaginary world. Please remember, imaginary world. So the name of the novel is Adam Bede. This novel was written by George, please remember name, George Eliot. So she was a very famous Victorian novelist. Her real name is Mary Anna Evans. This is the real name. And George Eliot is the surname or pseudonym. Pseudonym. Okay, this is all about George Eliot. And let us see the information about Adam Bede. This is the first novel. Look at this is the first novel by George Eliot. This novel was published in 3 volumes, and year is 1859. Please remember, in England 1859 is a very significant year that Charles Darwin's theory, the theory of evolution, was published. So in that context also this novel become significant. And theme of the novel is love as a transformative force. So this is the theme of the poem, and this novel was influenced by the Methodist the method the Methodist philosophy. This philosophy was influenced on this novel Adam Bede. Okay, so this is very important information about this question, so please note down. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Name of Andrea's wife in Browning's Andrea del Sarto. Look at name of Andrea's wife in Browning's Andrea del Sarto. So the options: innocence, profit, fidelity, and beauty. So the correct answer is here fidelity. So Andrea means fidelity. So please remember, Andrea del Sarto is a very famous poem by Robert Browning. He was belonged to Victorian poetry. Andrea del Sarto is a famous dramatic monologue. Please remember, and this poem was selected from an anthology, very famous anthology by Robert Browning, named Men and Women. This is an anthology, collection of poems. Anthology means collection of poems. So from this poem Andrea del Sarto was selected. And very important information about this poem. What is the subtitle of this poem? That is the faultless painter. This is the subtitle of this poem, Andrea del Sarto. And the correct answer here is fidelity. So fidelity means, look at the word fidelity means faithful and confidence. Andrea del Sarto is a famous Italian painter before the Renaissance. So this is very important. He was the only poet, Robert Browning, who was deeply influenced by the Renaissance art and architecture, especially paintings. Now let's move on to the next question. Name the prison in which Dr. Mente is a character. Please remember, Dr. Mente in A Tale of Two Cities. It is a famous novel by Charles Dickens. Is kept for 18 years. Look at the question is required to answer identifying the prison. That prison in which he was imprisoned, Dr. Mente. Let's see the options. Option 1 Newgate, option 2 Fleet Prison, option 3 King's Bench Prison, option 4 Bastille. Guess the right answer. That is Bastille. Bastille is the correct answer. As I told that A Tale of Two Cities was a famous historical novel. Please remember, genre of the novel is historical novel. Writer is Charles Dickens. He belongs to Victorian. He belongs to Victorian age. The novel was published in 1859. As I told you, that is very important here in the history of English literature as well as in the England history. And next is novel of the background of the novel is the French Revolution. Please remember, French Revolution. So the setting of the novel in two cities, that is London and Paris. Please remember, these are the very important facts about the Tale of Two Cities. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. In his essay, The Two Races of Men, look at, in his essay, The Two Races of Men, Charles Lamb classifies. It is a famous essay by Charles Lamb in which he classifies men into two groups. Identify those two groups. Option 1, Gothic and Celtic tribes, the rich and the poor, the educated and the ignorant, and the last, the borrowers and the lenders. The correct answer is the borrowers and the lenders. Charles Lamb classifies two races of men. Look at, two races of men. That one is borrower's race. One is borrower's race. Second one is lender's race. So please remember, sometimes some critics describe Charles Lamb was father of English essays. That is the significance of Charles Lamb. He belongs to 19th century. He belongs to 19th century. Is nothing but Romantic and Victorian age. Okay. So please note down his some other very famous essays. In the upcoming exam, they may ask you the some names of the essays by Charles Lamb. So all those things we are going to discuss in our upcoming videos. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. What is the name of Silas? Silas is a character. Silas adopted daughter. Look at, daughter in the novel Silas Marner. Look at, name of the novel is Silas Marner, and very important character or the protagonist is Silas. So please remember, if the novel's name is in the name of the protagonist or the main hero or heroine, that type of novel called eponymous novel. Okay. So the question here is, what is the name of Silas' adopted daughter name in the novel Silas Marner? Let's see the option. Option 1, Epi. Option 2, Dolly. Option 3, Nancy. Option 4, Priscilla. Guess the right answer. The right answer is option 1, Epi. Please remember, Epi is the correct answer. Once again, Silas Marner is a novel by George Eliot. Look at, many questions in PU lecturers exam, they asked based on important works and their background and some important characters. From this analysis, we have to understand the pattern how they ask the questions. So look at the novel Silas Marner was a novel written by George Eliot. This novel was published in 1861. This is the third novel by George Eliot. Okay, and genre of the novel is realism. And what are the important themes of the novel? that is religious themes, industrial issues. These are the important themes of the novel. So as I told you, George Eliot is pseudonym. Look at pseudonym, or you called surname or pen name of Mary Anna Evans. Why most of the Victorian women writers used men names? This is a big question now. So that question we will discuss in our upcoming video. Why the most of the Victorian writers used men names in their writing. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The book Unto This Last. The book Unto This Last takes its title from which book? Option 1, Bible. Option 2, Beowulf. Option 3, Aeneid. Option 4, Heroes and Hero Worship. Guess the right answer. That is the option 1, the Bible. Please remember, option 1 is the Bible. So, Unto This Last is a famous work by John Ruskin. Please remember, John Ruskin wrote these books Unto This Last in 1860. Actually, this was published in serial form. Later, it was published in book format. Okay, so the title was taken from the Bible. In Bible, we have the story parable. Okay, parable means story of the workers. From this incident, John Ruskin taken this title Unto This Last. And very important, do you know, this work was influenced Mahatma Gandhi ji in his philosophy or on his philosophy. Actually, this novel talks about economics, especially labor economics. Okay, so this is all about Unto This Last. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. Which character in Vanity Fair, it is a novel, please remember, Vanity Fair, throws away Johnson's dictionary? So here we have the reference of Johnson dictionary in the novel Vanity Fair. This novel was written by William Makepeace Thackeray. He wrote the novel Vanity Fair. In that novel, we have incident there. There was a character. That character throws away the book or the dictionary of Johnson. So that incident is known as act of defiance. So here you have to identify the character. Look at how the question was framed. This question is testing our in-depth reading of the novel. So let's see the options. Option 1, Miss Gawley. Option 2, Becky Sharp. Option 3, Ravdown. Option 4, Mrs. Dodd. All these four characters come in this novel Vanity Fair. But which character throws away Johnson's dictionary? The answer is Becky Sharp. This character, Becky Sharp, throws Johnson dictionary. Johnson is a very famous English critic, poet, novelist of the early or mid 18th century. He belongs to neoclassical age, in which we find this Becky Sharp is a character who throws the Johnson's dictionary. Okay, so about Vanity Fair, its title, subtitle, a novel without hero. Please remember, this time they may ask you this question. A novel without hero is the subtitle of the novel Vanity Fair. This novel was written by William Makepeace Thackeray. He was a very famous 19th century novelist. Please remember, Vanity Fair is a title taken from John Bunyan's Bunyan's prose work, The Pilgrim's Progress. Okay, Pilgrim's Progress. Okay, we have discussed in detail about this novel. Let's move on to the next question. Which character in Great Expectations is a famous novel in which we have has a post office mouth? We have to identify the character. One is Opsole, Wemmike, Orlick, Magwitch. Identify the character who has post office mouth. The answer is Wemmick. The full name of this character, John Wemmick. So let us see. Great Expectations is a novel by Charles Dickens. Again, he was a famous Victorian novelist, and the setting of the novel is Kent and London. This novel was published in 1861, and very important, the protagonist of the novelist is Pip. Please remember Pip. So this is, we have that Great Expectation. Now let's move on to the last question. Hazlitt, look at William Hazlitt says that he dates his insight into the mysteries of poetry. Look at insights into the mysteries of poetry from the time he got acquainted or got friendship with George Crabbe, Robert Burns, Charles Lamb, Wordsworth, and Coleridge. So the correct answer is option 4, Wordsworth and Coleridge. Please remember, William Hazlitt has a great relationship with these two poets, Wordsworth and Coleridge. Plus Hazlitt, this group famously known as Lake Poets. Lake Poets. So all these three writers belong to 19th century, early 19th century Romantic age. So Hazlitt acquainted with William Wordsworth and Coleridge and living in Lake District. Okay, this is all about the question. Okay, now the concluding. In this video, we have tried to analyze the detail in detail of the questions that can be very helpful to the upcoming PU lecture exam. And please remember, this not only help to the PU lecturer but also for HSTR, TGT, PGT, GPT, and upcoming assistant professor exams, and very importantly UGC NET exam, SLET exam. In that manner, we have tried to analyze all these questions that can be very helpful for the exams. Okay, hope it will be very useful for your exam. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to follow the description box in which we have provided PDF links as well as Telegram link. Follow and join. Please share, like, and give feedback in the comment section. Thank you for watching our video. Take care.